When I first moved to Pakistan, I genuinely thought there was a serious energy crisis. I mean, I had never experienced this in my life. Sitting in a living room on a random Monday evening, like sipping a tea, talking, and suddenly, blackouts. The first time it happened, I actually panicked. I was like, what just happened? And my Pakistani friend next to me was just finishing her cup of tea in the dark, like nothing happened. I honestly found it hilarious at the beginning because in summer, this can happen 4 or 5 times a day. So can you imagine? But after like the third or fourth time, I stopped laughing and I started asking some questions. Is this because of big population, or is it because Pakistan doesn't produce enough electricity? Is it a distribution problem, infrastructure? What's really going on? And the deeper I looked, the more I realized this isn't just about structure or even economics. It's also about a silent transformation that is happening in the background. So then the transition was on one side, national grid, and on the other side, something we call the shadow grid. So here is the paradox. Pakistan's national grid has a theoretical capacity of around 46 gigawatts. Just to give you an idea, this capacity could power around 6 or 8 times London at peak demand. But it's only using 25 to 30% of that, which means fixed costs are massive and fewer customers are left to pay for them. And then when you add nearly 1.9 billion PKR in circular debt, you understand the pressure. From the outside, it looks like a shortage. From the inside, it's more of a misalignment. So now here is what it gets interesting. Solar imports in the past few years have exploded. Nearly 48 gigawatts of imported solar capacity, which means the private sector has basically matched the national grid's capacity. Think about that. I mean, consumers didn't wait, industries didn't wait, they moved, and this isn't only happening here. So in part of North Africa and the Gulf, we're seeing similar decentralization, but Pakistan's scale makes it different. It's not about niche adoption, but more mass defection. For example, let's compare Morocco versus Pakistan, which has 2 different solar strategies. And here's where my perspective becomes a little bit personal. I'm Moroccan, and Morocco made a very deliberate move towards solar energy more than a decade ago. The Noor Ouarzazate solar complex, one of the largest solar power plants in the world, was a state-led, centralized vision, a national decision to reduce dependency on imports and position Morocco as a renewable energy leader in Africa and MENA. It was infrastructure first. Pakistan is taking a very different path. Here is the movement isn't coming from one giant state project, it's coming from households, from factories, and from industrial rooftops. So Morocco transition was planned, and Pakistan transition is a little bit more reactive. In Morocco, solar was a top-down transformation, and in Pakistan, it's a bottom-up. So both are valid, but the long-term question is different. Can Pakistan turn this spontaneous shadow grid into structured policy the way Morocco institutionalized Noor? The battery layer energy independence. What really changed the game isn't actually solar, it's more storage. Lithium and ion imports have surged massively, which means people are not only generating power, they are storing it. And once you store energy, that's when the grid actually stops being primary and becomes more of a backup. And for the other part, it's like industry has already moved. Let's talk about industry. I mean, large textile groups like the Wasssl group have installed large-scale solar across multiple facilities. They are integrating solar, biomass, and waste heat recovery. They are building captive energy ecosystems. For them, the grid is no longer the lifeline, and when industries move like this, you know the shift is quite structural. And you think the grid is finished? I think no. In late 2025, generation actually increased again. The government moved across subsidies, adjusted tariffs, and tried to bring industry back. So it's fighting back, but the model has changed. The centralized grid is no longer the only game in town. It's now competing with rooftops. Let's move it to the 500 million question. Pakistan could be a 500 million person country in the coming decades. So the question isn't how do we fix the old grid? The question is, do we redesign the system for decentralization? Can the state pivot from monopoly to intelligent backbone? So living here, I don't see actually much chaos, true, time to time, but I see transition. Emerging markets don't collapse. They evolve, sometimes brutally, and that's what's happening in Pakistan. Energy sector is not just about electricity, it's about sovereignty and resilience. It's about whether centralized systems can adapt to a decentralized world. So follow us for more stories for the front lines around business, innovation, and technology, and subscribe.